Hello, my friends. I'm back, and today I wanted to talk about this deck that I got. When did I get this? 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that. This is the Lumen edition Oracle of um, this deck. It's by Threads of Fate. And I just wanted to talk about it because this was my very first Oracle deck, and it's still one of my very favorites. It is on the Threads of Fate site, and it is $90 American. So it is pricey, I'll admit. So it comes in this nice box. Oh, that's back upside down. Okay, so nice box, beautiful coloring. Let's see. I like to compare it to other cards so you guys can get a good idea of how large the card is. So it comes with a little guidebook, decent thickness. The font inside is just a little bit small, but there's a lot about each card, so very helpful. Okay, so these are the backs. They're gold, as you can see. Like this deck just takes my breath away every time I look at it. It's got the gold edging. It's kind of, in real life, there's like a glitter to this, but it's not really picking up on camera. It is significantly larger than, this is just a regular playing card. And it is the same height as a tarot card, but wider. The cards are thick, you guys, like thick. Like, look how it's like I don't want to say cardboard, but it's good. Okay, so let's look at the cards. The style is quite simple. It's got like mostly just simple images with a word or two. So as you can see, once again, like all of these have some gold in it. I love the simplicity of the design that they've chosen. And I like this kind of galaxy ethereal vibe that they went for in this. A drawback to this deck is you may need to tilt it a little bit in order to be able to see it, but otherwise it's just absolutely amazing. Now, as you'll see as I go through, not every single one looks exactly the same. There's like little different things in the background. So this one has like almost like curtains or something like that. The Weaver. This one has like a rose motif around what looks to be the moon. And it's more pink. And it's still got a galaxy. This is more galaxy than this clothy thing that's going on here, which is perfect because this is the Weaver and this is more, am I allowed to say that word on YouTube? Okay. Surrender. Now some of these you don't even need to look. Like sometimes when I'm doing an oracle read, I'm looking for an answer. Just the word gives me like, okay, I know exactly what this is telling me that I need to do. But then other times I will need to want to look at the book for more clarification. This is Reclaim. I loved the skulls. Now with this one, as you can see, there's like mountains. It seems like there's some adventure or something. There's a full moon up there. This is manifest. Another, and then this one, it's like a beach. You can see the wave coming in. Like, look, I could just stop and stare at these cards forever. Play, and I think the dolphins are perfect. The little pine trees or fir, whatever those are in the background. This kind of looks like the Northern Lights. Take risk. I love the goat. You know, like when you think about how they live on the mountains, and like it is kind of risky, right? So just, and this, when I see a goat, I think of determination as well, hardiness, strength. This one is interesting because this looks like a maple leaf to me, but we've got these roots coming out of the stem, and then teeth, it looks like, kind of hanging down. It's been a while since I read the book. I use these cards with my regular deck for clarification or for direction, depending on the read that I had. Patience, and this is a turtle shell. And once again, like there's roots, there's leaves coming up. Self-love, and we've got a peacock here. And it does look like waves coming in, but these are like sparkly. It reminds me of those beaches at night that have the glowing algae or whatever it is. Don't quote me. It might not be algae. Nature. Now this kind of looks like one of those really fancy eggs, but this is like rocky. It looks sturdy, and it's got wings. This is the armadillo. Boundaries. I tend to draw this card a lot, probably because I am a very open person and I struggle with maintaining my own boundaries because I want to just go out and help and be there for people, and I forget to remember that, you know, you can't serve others with an empty cup. Release. This frog makes me laugh like all the time, and then this kind of looks like a bug to me too. I don't remember if that was the intention. This is not a card I tend to draw very often. I've never drawn this one. This is Paradox. It's just gorgeous. Got some clouds. Get wild. And these gorgeous skulls. Wildling. I think that's in reference to the Wild Hunt, if I remember right. Get curious. We've got all these gorgeous tendrils, roots, whatever they are, with this bird. And in my imagination, this is probably an eagle, just something that surveys. And destruction. Like, look at that. Love. Just the simplicity, the gold. There are a few different color options, so if this is something that you would really struggle to see, they've got a shadow edition, they call it. So Lumen is, you know, light. This is the light edition. There's a shadow edition that's more of a like a dark, deep purple. I do not have that deck, but the gold on the shadow deck does show up a lot better. The Void. For me, this card comes up a lot when kind of, especially in winter, the seasonal depression, and I know it's about my emotions in that time. The Seeker. Since she's got the teeth, it reminds me, you know, the bone throwers. The Creator. The Alchemist, like just gorgeous. I would get a tattoo of pretty much every single card in this deck. Like Ancestors. Dare to Dream. It's kind of got this claw holding a gem, a diamond it looks like. Soul work. Trust. Got the moths. Ask body. The warrior, and you see these gorgeous ram horns connected to the hilt of the sword. Sorry, that's the hilt. You know what I mean, like the guard. Share wisdom. Once again, like I'm just so attracted to the imagery of the trees and the roots, and tells you to dig deep, you know. The explorer, and we've got the compass, and then this heart. Ascension. Beautiful hand with these wings. Speak truth. Another gorgeous sword. Transmute. Sovereign. Look at this crown. And once again, we have the image of these horns, and we've got some shells going on here. The underworld. One of my very favorite cards. Once again, just discovering your shadow self. Those things that you try to hide even from yourself. Trying to get in contact. To get in touch with that part of yourself. And try to work through that shame that's sometimes not applicable, you know. Get creative. Look at this. Oh, every time I've just fallen in love with this deck again. Reflect. Magi. Withdraw, and we've got this fox sleeping, and you can see the trees. It makes me think of, in my imagination, I can almost see him in his little den in these woods, you know. There's the egg. Fate. You know, there's so much that could be inside. What's that saying? You get a box of chocolates and you don't know what you're going to get next. That's what the egg makes me think of. Like, what is in there? Shadow. You've got these bat wings. Just like, look at the line work. Versatility. I don't remember if I can say what that is, but we all know. The Outlaw. This is one of my very favorite cards. It talks to me of adventure and rebellion and just, you know, facing your fears. Look, got the cactus here in the mountains. It reminds me of like a rogue because there's like this dagger. The Observer. Look at these threads. Looks like threads of fate. The deck's very well named, isn't it? The Pillar. This is the Universe. I never noticed this before until I was looking at this card through my camera, but that almost looks like a donut, doesn't it? Or maybe it's the moon in front of the Earth. Like we're looking at it like we're behind the moon. So the moon's the Sage. Look, we've got the teeth. I don't know what I find so attractive about bones, but the Revolutionary, yes. Death. Death cards aren't usually as scary as you might suppose. They're usually about transformation, a process, something is ending. It's not always bad. We've got Power, a very sturdy little wand here. Compassion. This is another favorite card. This specifically I would love to have tattooed on me. Just connect to heart. We've got the dogs here. Movement. We've got this snake around the egg. So once again, listen, thick. They shuffle really well. I always get something decent out of these cards. Like I usually use them in, as I said, to clarify, because I'm weaker with practice to tarot than I am with the oracle. The oracle just seems to work a little bit better for me. So I like to use them together because tarot has been so helpful in clarifying for me. Now, I've never riffled shuffled these cards because, as I've said multiple times, I do not like to do that because I do not want to bend my cards. But I do it for you guys. Okay, I gotta... Now, these do not read upside down, but I bet you could take the book, read about what the card is, and then if you get it upside down, just attribute the opposite meaning to it. So it's a little difficult to riffle. As I said, the cards are super thick. This is 55 cards, and this is how thick the deck is. Now, they are quite wide, but I don't have a problem with how big they are. I know some people really struggle with the size of some of these cards. So that is the Lumen Tarot. Sorry, the Lumen Oracle. I'm still so happy I have it. They just released, I shouldn't say just, I didn't check the date, but like another, it's like an 8-ball inspired deck that I was just looking through, and I'm kind of considering that one. I haven't seen, I want to say very many, but I'm pretty sure I haven't seen any reviews of this deck, and I kind of get it because I'll admit this is a pricey deck, but I have no regrets about having this in my collection. Very awesome, very first Oracle deck, and yeah, it's so clarifying. I always feel good using these cards, even if it gives me a difficult read. You know, like all of my decks, they're very good with being honest, almost to the point where I don't want to say it hurts my feelings, because, you know, that sounds dramatic, but I'm like, oh man, you're calling me out, you know? So thank you for hanging out with me. I really enjoyed it. I've been just dying to share this deck with you, and I've been waiting because I wanted to show some of the newer decks I had. So that's the Threads of Fate Lumen edition of the Oracle. Thanks again. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.